I'm going to be ranking all the Record of Ragnarok fights from worst to best, starting with number 8, Sasuke versus Poseidon. This fight sucked. Like, there's nothing good about this fight at all. When this fight first came out, everyone kept saying, oh, it's a good fight, it's a great fight, it's a great fight. Yeah. You're just comparing it to Adam versus Zeus. It's not fair. The problem is that literally the next fight that came after this is Jack the Ripper versus Hercules. And, well, it just proves that this fight sucked. Like, nothing happens in this fight other than Sasuke imagining what Poseidon's going to do, which isn't even how Sasuke's original ability worked. Originally, he had to fight someone to learn their techniques, and then he could just imagine them. But for the sake of him winning this fight, he just had to imagine what Poseidon would do without actually knowing what his fighting style was. And this just continued on where Poseidon literally just stood there while Sasuke imagined a fight 1,000 times until he could finally take on Poseidon. And honestly, Poseidon is literally the only character Sasuke would have been able to beat because of his arrogance. Like, the thing about this fight that pisses me off is that later on, whenever a character, a human, defeats a god, it's because either they have some kind of intelligent way of beating them, or it's they're just that powerful in a way. There's always some kind of mixture of reason and strength. Sasuke, it's literally Poseidon's an arrogant jackass. That's it. Poseidon lost because of Poseidon, not because Sasuke was better. This fight sucked. In 7th place is Lubu versus Thor. This fight is just a one-sided beatdown by Thor. Now, I understand why this fight went the way it did, because they wanted to demonstrate that the gods are this overwhelming power that the humanity doesn't have any chance against. That was the whole point of this fight. So that's why it's a one-sided beatdown. That doesn't mean he doesn't get any attacks in. I mean, he is able to scar Thor. And that's when Thor starts to take it more seriously, and that's when the fight really picks up. Lubu gets fucking destroyed. He in no way forces Thor to his absolute limit. He does force, surprisingly, Thor's hammer to its limit. It finally awakens so it can handle Thor's power. Which means, through the entire fight, Thor wasn't challenged, but his hammer was. That is just insulting. Lubu was apparently a challenge for the hammer, not for the man. That's a really fucked up thing. While it isn't the most entertaining fight, it does accomplish what it's supposed to, which is that the gods are this overwhelming power that humanity probably can never overcome. In 6th place, I have Nikola Tesla versus Beelzebub. This fight just wrapped up, actually, about 3-4 weeks ago. So I think I have enough time to think about how do I feel about it. And it really is the bottom at the moment. It might get higher in the future, but at the moment it's still at the bottom. And the main reason for this is because it's a fight between a man who wants to see how far his science can go and a devil who wants to die. Like, it was pretty obvious that Beelzebub from the beginning of this fight was going to win. While Beelzebub was pushed to his absolute limit, it was clear that he was always a step ahead, always able to do something extra that Tesla can't, where Tesla was forced to basically burn through all of his Tesla coils, while Beelzebub was still able to keep pushing forward. What this fight basically represented was humanity has infinite growth. Even against the devil himself, humanity can keep pushing forward to strive for better. Humanity can even succeed. And that's a very beautiful message. But in the end, the devil won out, which is such a funny message to give because that's very biblical, very biblical. At 5, I have Qin Shi Huang versus Hades. I would say this one is probably the best representation of a actual fight between weapon users. Like, this was an actual back and forth kind of fight. There was no real sense of who was going to win at a certain point. Beelzebub obviously was able to guess the answer. But if you were reading chapter to chapter, there's no way you were able to guess this, because it was quite clear that they were equally matched with each other and that they were easily able to hold each other off. And that little sleight of hand at the end that Qin Shi did that got Hades off balance so he could finish him off. That was quite clever. I like that. That was a perfect kind of bait and switch for Spearman to do. I like that. At 4, I got Raiden versus Shiva. This was another fight that was pretty obvious that Shiva's going to win. Even so, the amount of fucking damage they were able to pound on each other is insane. This was a straight-up hands fight. These two just wanted to beat on each other until they ripped and broke each other's bodies. It was kind of ridiculous just how much damage these two men could take. Now, while it was obvious, because it always happens with characters who have multiple limbs, they're going to have their extra limbs removed, the way in which it happened was fucking amazing, where he just grabs them, crushes them, and then rips them off with his bare hands. That I fucking love that chapter. Seriously, if you're just looking for a straight up brawl, this is the fight to watch. At number 3, I got Buddha versus Zerafuku or Hajun. Yeah, the main reason why this fight is as high as it is because Buddha is just entertaining to watch. Like, he is a very entertaining and fun character. It doesn't matter if he's taking on an idiot like Zero or just a mindless monster that wants to kill like Hajun. In the end, it's just fun. Like Buddha's personality carried this fight. Because once again, one guy's an idiot and the other guy's personality just completely disappears. It has no personality. You were basically just watching Buddha do what Buddha does. And sometimes that's all you really need. You just need an entertaining character. Just be entertaining. At 2 is Adam versus Zeus. Yeah, people have done entire video essays on this fight because that is just how amazing it is. Going from the choreography to the beauty of it, just to the personalities of Zeus and Adam, just how amazing Adam is. Just as a character, where the fact that he's just willing to fight to the death, not because of hatred or anything like that, but because he just loves his family. He loves humanity. It is a beautiful, beautiful fight from start to finish, and it's just heartbreaking the way that Adam dies in the end, where he continues to fight Zeus even after death, continue to throw punches, trying to win this fight for his children. This is an amazing fight, and Zeus really is a good antagonist for Adam. Because Zeus has 2 major parts to his personality, which is that he's fun and also he's kind of a dick. And that really works well for someone like Adam who actively is doing this not for fun like Zeus, because that's his duty as a father. It really is such a beautiful fight. And number 1, my favorite fight is Jack the Ripper versus Hercules. Now, most people consider this a fight of strength versus intelligence. That's not true at all. Hercules is actually quite intelligent, and he's actually able to figure out what Jack is doing almost immediately after he falls for the trick. Most people would be like, hey, in fact, most people in the audience were like, what the hell is going on? How did he do that? But Hercules immediately goes, okay, that's how he did it. That's what he's doing. That's what's going on. And then he adapts to it quite well. And that's really what this fight is about. It's a trickster versus a man who can adapt to the tricks quite quickly. And the winner is the person who will either be the trickster, who final trick finally wins, or the adapter who finally breaks through. Obviously, Jack ends up winning. The trick wins at the end. But still, this fight, the way it's choreographed, the way it operated, the way you are able to understand a fucking monster like Jack. Like, Jack is not sympathetic in any way, shape, or form. He is a monster through the entire thing. Like, even the scene where he fucking strangles his own Valkyrie to force her to submit to him, so this way they can bond through their souls. You can see this guy is a piece of shit all the way through. But in the end, you can actually still understand who he is as a person. For the simple fact, not because you empathize with him, but because he is a human like everyone else. Like, even a monster like him was a human being. He just represents the worst of humanity. But yeah, this fight, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. It is the pinnacle of Record of Ragnarok. And since then, there have not been any fights that top it. Okay, that's my list. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe, give a thumbs up so you enjoy more Record of Ragnarok and other anime things. Thank you, and have a great day.